Welcome to Elmar's ecosystem.
It's an ecosystem. Everything is connected.
It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, man. And then, don't you have like engineering friends, sound engineers?
I need to get some sound engineers actually.
Yeah,
But I
get
think
them to
I have
tune.
some friends who are like technical and stuff. I should ask them. But like
Yeah.
I'm trying to go expand into just to collaborate with other people.
Yeah.
I think that's also a good thing to do.
It is, man. I mean, you can't do it alone.
No, you can't. It's
wanna-
difficult.
There's this thing they say: if you wanna go far, walk with people. If you wanna go fast, you can go alone.
You can go along.
And you know what happens.
Yeah,
to
that's
fast
wise
things.
words, man.
Yeah.
I strongly agree with that.
And I mean, dude, you're exposed to all these people. You're surrounded by professionals.
Yeah.
Why not utilize their skills? They're
Exactly.
your friends.
Exactly.
At some stage, you have to do business, yes, but I mean, you can just use the skill to make whatever you're doing perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, how you been? How's SAPRI and everything? Is everything alright?
Yeah, SAPRI is good, man. SAPRI is good. We're busy. This year is very busy because of the G20 thing. So there's a
the
lot of
G20.
things that we involved in. Ocean 20 and of course, you know, LTO land is always busy with Mary and stuff. We're already preparing for next year.
Yo.
Because we're trying to streamline the process, man, so that it's smooth and
Yeah.
we can get people on the island,
Get people on the
safe
island.
and in an efficient way. That's it.
Yeah, now was semester.
Semester, yeah, they just came back. I wasn't on semester.
You weren't part of it. Okay.
It was Risna and George,
Okay.
and Jethan that were there.
Yeah, I
And
chatted
Neha.
with a lady yesterday and she said, I think her nephew was on the ship and he enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
It was awesome, he said. So
yeah, semester is very cool, man. It's a
I
great
think
opportunity.
children love it. Like,
It's a
like young
fantastic
people really
opportunity.
enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's marine science is quite niche, and it's basically like centered around coastal cities, and then sometimes you have learners and students from like the inner parts of South Africa. For instance, I know a couple of students from Fort Hare, which is the university that I'm from, and it's in Alice. Like,
Yeah, I've been there actually.
really?
Yeah, I went past that. It was cool to see the
yeah.
university. I was there in Alice when we went to Hogsback
Cool. Yeah.
long
yeah.
ago. It was 4 years ago, 2021. Yeah.
Yeah,
4 years
that's
ago.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I saw them on the ship one time when I was on semester, and I was like, oh, that's very cool. So reaching out to the inner parts of the country is really cool, and semester has been a big part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's really.
I think it's a very cool initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have that ship. You need to use it to your best of your advantage, I would say. And it's a cool ship. It's a Gallus too. It's a really cool ship.
Yeah.
Unless you
but
stay there 20 days on the ship, then it's not nice. It's too long.
you know what, man? I really appreciate the ship. It's incredible, and
Yeah.
yeah, but being there for too long is just like I want to get out.
That's what I don't get about cruise ships, you know, like people going on those cruise ships for long periods. I'm like,
Yeah, man.
I don't get that. That's just too much for me.
Yeah, it's for leisure though.
Yeah, it's for leisure. It's like a casino on the water.
But I can't imagine being on that thing for like a week. 3 days tops, cool. I can do it. But yeah, people, we've been on the ship plenty of times, so maybe we take it for granted.
Yeah, probably. That's
Yeah.
true. Because I can remember the first time when I stepped, I was like, yo, this is really grand. And I was like,
Amazing.
this is amazing.
Really amazing.
And then now that when we came back, it was like, hey.
Can we just get off?
Yeah, can we get off? I want to get home, man.
Yeah, no, the ship is really incredible. Like, we're very privileged as South Africa to have that, to have the ship.
Yeah. So when we came back, it was so weird, like feeling the heat, you know, like, yo, it's hot.
And how are you dealing with the change of
The change of coming back.
Yeah, but it's winter, so
Oh,
it's
yeah, the winter
similar.
here is fine. It's similar. Like if you go out early in the morning, let's say 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's like this. It's cold. It's like Marion cold
Very
in a
cold.
way.
Bruh, doesn't need to be 1 a.m. It's just
Yeah,
cold.
it's just cold. No, man, it's not that cold now.
Yeah, you just
But
came
like-
back from Marion. That's why you're talking
that's
like
probably.
this.
But yeah, at the start, initially, I was like sweating, man, when I was sleeping in my bed. Yeah, the first few nights here, I was like, yeah, it was hot. But my body has adapted now. I can feel my body has adapted to the climate. Like now I'm dressing warmly. I can feel it now. Yeah. Otherwise, I adapted to life, I would say, very slowly. Yeah, but I feel like I'm becoming myself again now. But at the first few weeks, I was like not feeling like what's going on, you know, just too many stimuli around me. And,
Of course.
yeah,
coming
I'm
back
sure
from-
you had the same experience when you came back.
Yeah. I think for me, the two most like prevalent things that were like jumping out were the noise. The ship was quite noisy, but like getting to PE, because that's where we came back. We docked in PE for like an open day.
That's your first time.
First time, 2016, coming back. So loud, bro. And also the air pollution. You can like
You
clearly
can
see.
you can see and you can feel the
Yeah,
difference.
you can clearly see.
It's the
And
same
then-
with the water.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then being in a car. That was quite an experience. Which was strange because I mean I was on a moving ship, so motion shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
But getting on a car and it was
It's just it's a different motion.
yeah, it was moving at like 80 also. I was like, yo,
Yo.
can you chill? So yeah, that was different. But integrating back into society, that didn't take long. Didn't take long.
Yeah, people are quite adaptable, right? We just
Yeah.
adapt. I feel like I just quickly adapted again.
And
Figured it out.
generally, I didn't really isolate. So yeah, I'm used
That's
to
true.
community.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
used to
yeah.
community. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
Like the Marian community was also nice in a sense. It's like you're not totally alone, you know. You
Yeah,
can still
incredible,
like interact with people and have fun.
Incredible.
So it's not like you're. Imagine you had to be completely alone. That'd
Yeah.
just be like I don't know. That's like Robinson Crusoe vibes.
And I mean, like, when you come back from the island, obviously, like, you see things differently because, like, you got to be isolated from everything. You got to be alone with your thoughts for a very long time, which can be a very frightening thing sometimes. But I don't know, man. You just have another perspective.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
The world
definitely.
suddenly just becomes bigger.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, where else can I go? What's next?
Yeah. Yeah, but I realized when I came back, like it's like people learned a lot more while I was away, in a way, because they had the news, they had day-to-day stuff happening.
Sure.
But it feels like I had a more, a therapy session with myself, in a way, when I was on the island. And
That's the one.
that's the one, eh? You have like a
Yeah,
therapy
yeah.
session with yourself. You're like thinking a lot about who you are and why am I here and why am I making these choices? And you're like,
Also, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah,
because
so
this
it's
wind is
interesting.
about to kill me.
yeah, so it's interesting. And then you try to tell people that, I think I spoke with Zaf about it as well, but like you try to tell people around you, make them understand what you went through, but no one can really understand. That's why I feel like we overwintered us, just like connect instantly.
Of course, because we're going to talk about something we know.
We know exactly what we went through. That's what's nice for me. That was what's nice at the midwinter function as well. Like you can see everybody went through the same stuff.
And they know exactly when you talk about the Black Haglet Valley.
They're like,
They
oh,
know exactly where
yeah,
that
they know.
is, you know? You don't have to be like, it's this. No, they know exactly
Yeah,
what
you
you're
can't
talking
explain to someone
Amazing.
else really.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that like just make the community so close knit. You know? It's those
I like it.
bonding moments. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what I want to do with this podcast. I want to make a community of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we can just be together and have similar interests and I don't know, just
Yeah, actually,
chat
I
about
do.
shit.
Later on, I'm going to ask you what your plan is.
Yeah, you can do that anytime.
Yeah.
The plan is to continue.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't continue aimlessly. You need to have a direction.
I hear what you're
Because
saying.
at the end of the day, we need to make money out of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't just do this for free all the time. No.
People are telling their stories.
But I don't mind if I do it for free my whole life, whatever.
No, for sure.
I don't give a shit. You know, the whole reason for me is to learn from other people. I think that's my outlook in life, and I feel like, let me explain. On Marion, when I spoke with people and have a deep conversation, I felt like I learned a lot from that person.
Yeah.
You know, and I realized, that's probably why a podcast is so good, because you can really go. There's like a zone in a podcast where you feel like, okay, I'm not stressed anymore. I'm just talking.
It's not performative.
Yeah, it's not performative. You just go and then you learn stuff from that person. And then that's the reason I started on the island. I was like, let's do this.
Sure.
And what was also interesting when I did the first one with Rhiannon, you know how you do your work and sometimes shit goes wrong. The weather was kak. And I lost my fucking bags in the field. It blew away, and you go and you vent and you're annoyed by it, and that's what you talk about when you come back from the field.
Those are field moments.
Yeah, that's field moments.
Those are field moments. You need those.
Or you talk about that seal that almost killed you or whatever.
Yeah.
But like when we did the podcast, it was like exactly the opposite. We just spoke about interesting things, because it's a platform. We both knew it was a platform.
Yeah.
So now we just focused on interesting things, and so I was like, that's quite interesting. Now we're not venting on the podcast. We're just
like talking. Yeah.
We're just talking. So that was cool for me. So that's when I realized I should continue with this. Let's just go.
No, this is really cool, man.
I like
solid.
this.
So did you have this when you were on the island?
This setup I bought.
So the recordings, what did you record on?
My phone. I just put my phone in the center.
They sound so good.
They sound not too bad, eh?
Sounds really good. It's impressive.
Yeah. But this sounds a lot better. If you listen to Zaf
and
it's much better. Yeah.
And then did you also do John on the island?
Yeah, also. Okay. We were very lucky with John when I recorded his, because the power was power change. So the internal, the heat, the heat, the exchange, what do you call it?
AC.
The AC, the AC, whatever, was off. So you didn't have that HVAC. Yeah. You didn't have that buzz. So it recorded like perfectly.
So it didn't have the That's amazing.
If you listen to talk, you can hear the AC.
Yeah.
But like, that's just how it is. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Like I would like to have like a studio. Obviously, this is the start. I took a photo yesterday of this. This is the start. And then I want to take a photo in a year again, and then next year, and just see how it evolves. It's just nice. It's like
that's gonna be cool.
I'm a horticulturist as well. I grow stuff. This is like a plant for me. It's still germinating. It's still germinating. I'm still watering it, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Nah, man.
Hopefully, it won't die from a storm or something.
Really happy to contribute.
Thanks, man.
Anytime, man. We can do this. And
but
I've already given you some ideas.
Yeah, you've given me a lot of ideas, man. You inspired me for the intro.
That theme music was so spot on. I was like, yes!
But I changed it now for John. I don't know if you heard John's podcast.
I just saw that, because I get notifications. I just saw that you had him on, but I didn't listen.
So I changed it to more a nature scene. So there's like birds singing.
Okay.
And I like that. I like that.
Yeah. It is an ecosystem after all. So.
Yeah, exactly. You need to stay with the nature stuff and all of that. But man, so that's that. But I want to hear from you. You're a geo man.
I'm a
You're the
geomorphologist.
first geo I'm interviewing from the island, and that's pretty cool. Were you a geo both years, right?
Yeah, all my years.
All your years.
And all my life, I'll be a geo.
I don't know if you're comfortable with chatting about what happened in your second year. Is it the second? The third one.
Third year.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's start at the first.
We can take the bright spots out of that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Otherwise.
No, I agree. Because Michelle told me a little bit about it. when I was in Pretoria now.
Yeah, because also like
There was her student.
was also involved.
She had a lot of stress. She had a lot of stress. Shame. I can understand.
Fam.
But anyway, let's get into the geo stuff. Like, I want to know, like, what do geos do on the island, exactly? Because I know, obviously, you sample rocks and you do some stuff, but how does it work? Like,
so, like geomorphologists, the term geo comes from geomorphologist, and a lot of people think it's geology.
Geology, but it's not.
It's not. Geomorphology is the study of
it's good that you're saying that. Because I thought it was geology.
No, man, it's geomorphology. So it's basically studying landforms and how they interact with the climate, and how the climate also influences those landscapes and those land features.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what we've been doing. We've been mapping the island. Liesel also just did something on the glaciers of the island and how big the island was originally before the glaciers melted and all
That's
those things,
cool,
and what it moved and what kind of features.
So you look at the landscape, basically, how it changed over time as well. You look at the history.
Yeah. And recently, Liesel, Dave, and Vern, they published a map of like the reconstruction of the land features and where the actual peaks are, the names, and so on and so forth. So that's what we've been doing over the years, man.
Yeah.
And it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, it's been a ride.
Marion is it's quite special, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, so the grey lava, just tell me if I'm right, but the grey lava is where the glaciers were, right?
Yeah.
And they made those flat rocks because of the moving.
Because of the moving ice.
Yeah, and the black lava is obviously your new rock, is no glaciers. So.
Yeah, it's from a volcanic material.
Yeah, and the scoria is also...
The scoria is also volcanic material, but it's the youngest of
It's the youngest
of the rocks.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's the grey is the oldest, and then you have the blacks, and then you have your scoria.
Then I saw also on the geomap they have a section where they say volcanic ash. Is that like the explosion and then...
So
how does that work?
You know, that's called a tuff cone.
Tuff cone.
TUFF cone.
Oh, okay.
Galkopi.
Galkopi.
Galkopi is a tuff cone.
Tuff cone.
Yeah. So if you see, it's a copy, but it's different to the other ones in terms of composition and the grain size of that's why it's considered ash.
Yes.
So that's volcanic ash.
That's volcanic ash.
Yeah, that's volcanic ash.
And you get some other spots on the island as well. Because I know at up Sister there's also a section. Yeah. I've noticed. And then where did I also see? A lot of places in the interior as well. Like Spitskop, that flat section there.
That's volcanic ash. Yeah. And also, if you notice, there's going to be a scoria cone, and then you'll see volcanic ash. And so it won't be too far away.
How did that form? Do you know how Kalkopi formed? Like, how did that?
It's a weird
formation. But you can see, like, there's a lot of water involved.
It's a lot of weathering. It's a lot of weathering. I think there was also a volcanic eruption that closed off a beach because there was a beach there. And then that eruption closed it off, and also with the weathering. But its inception on how it started, I have no idea. It's very interesting. It's my favorite place on the island also.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
Yo, bruh. Incredible.
The bat layer. The Batman layer.
Bruh. And it's unfortunate I never took a photo there. Because we work quite
I took a photo
inland.
now on takeover.
Yeah. So we work quite inland, so we never get to go back
exactly.
to the coast.
I was the same. Most of my sites were also like semi-inland and then super inland, and then I didn't have a lot of coastal sites.
Yeah, a lot of people tune me. They're like, you're missing out. You don't see stuff, and I'm like, well, you're missing out.
Everybody's missing out on something.
On something.
Like you can't see everything. You think you can, but you can't. Nah.
Yeah, like I used to do Mesrach every 5 days.
Wow.
So sometimes
you have to go back and then
every day I have to sample
every day
every for 5 days every 5 days, sorry. So sometimes I'll like come back by the coast. So,
Yeah, I used to do that as well. Sometimes you just take a different route back or whatever, just explore a bit.
terrible idea though, because I would get mad. Because when you cut across, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. But over the years, I think I've mastered walking on Myers.
I think I've also mastered it
Yeah,
now.
I mean,
But
you
you
have to
probably
shuffle.
mastered it. Obviously, you were there like 3 times.
You have to shuffle. Hey man,
Exactly.
I don't really like to say I was there 3 times.
2 times.
It's
Overwhelming.
2 times because.
The 3rd time doesn't count.
Yeah, Yinka always tunes me out when I say it's 2 times. But like, I was just there for 12 weeks, bro. And then I left.
Well, it's still more than most people.
I didn't go out. My injury happened in takeover.
Yeah, so you had to stay in
I had
base.
to stay in base. I couldn't go out.
Oh, that's awful. That must have been
I
shit.
forced it, I think, a week before they came to fetch us. I was like, I'm going to go to Third Sister. Just take a walk. Yeah.
And it wasn't nice.
Best. No, it was great.
It was great.
Because my hand was starting to heal itself by then, so it wasn't too painful. So I just put the wrist guard on and I just took a walk.
But how did you
It was
injure your
so
hand?
nice.
Was it in the hut or was it at base?
It was at base.
At base from the
From those double stories.
those double stories.
Yeah. So what happened was, so I came in because we were like, it's takeover, so everyone's there. I went up and then I slept. And then I was going down to go pee. And then I held on to the railing. And then the railing broke.
Broke
And then
off. Sure.
I followed. And then Sydney, who was sleeping in the bunk below me,
bunk
he was
below.
like, yo! He's telling me this because he said I passed out for like a minute or 2 because I was like unconscious.
Holy
I hit
hell.
my head, like I also cut a part of my
And
arm.
it's quite high, those bunk beds. They're high.
Those are double stories.
Yeah,
Those are double stories.
You can get another bunk bed in between, technically.
Yeah. So that happened during takeover, and when I woke up, it was so painful. You know when you're waking up and like there's a lot of people on top of you. Like, what the hell happened? And the pain just went straight to my wrist. Oh my
And then you obviously
goodness.
knew something is wrong.
I wanted to go fetch the medics myself. And everyone was like, chill. Then they took x-rays and stuff. It was quite swollen. I was in so much pain, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was 3 a.m.
In the morning, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, that's how it happened. And it's almost like sometimes it's embarrassing to talk about it because when you on Marion, you want to get injured in like a...
Yeah,
What
with
do
a
I say?
seal attacking you.
Yeah, or like falling off
Falling
a
off the
mountain,
cliff
or
of Black
or something.
Aglet
Like something.
yeah.
And yeah, the most dangerous place on that island is base. Because you can go on a round island for 7 days. But then when you come back,
Well, you can easily, like...
get injured on the catwalks.
Exactly.
You bust your face.
Yeah,
on your
that
lip or
happens.
something.
That happened to people. Like, we had people an hour here just falling on the catwalk, like just
Yeah.
injuring their hands or their arms, just bleeding a little bit. But you can easily break your arm just falling on the catwalk.
Yeah.
Just slipping, slipping on something. So that's...
Yeah, so that's
weird.
how it happened, and yeah, took 12 weeks to come and fetch me, which was unfortunate because later we later learned that this kind of injury was supposed to be operated on 48 hours.
Wow.
In 48 hours after
And
it
you
happens.
didn't. No,
And the ship was there, bro.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't operate, but at least the doctor would have the know-how.
but the doctor didn't come.
The doctor didn't come.
But why not?
Well,
Was it because they couldn't fly him, or is that the
No.
reason? You're not sure?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you
I
don't
don't
want
know
to...
if I have to say it because it's going to implicate a lot of people.
No, but don't say it then.
Yeah.
Leave it rather.
Yeah, the doctor wasn't called, and then, it was said to be a strain. It's just a sprain. As soon as it stops swelling, it will be fine. The swelling stopped, and then I realized that I couldn't
You couldn't move.
move my hand
Couldn't
like
really
fully.
turn it, yeah.
Then I went back to the medic. I was like, the swelling is down. You can clearly see there's something off because, like, if you look closely here,
Yeah.
there was a bone that was sticking out,
Jeez.
and then it was messed up.
And that's
So-
also part of the injury, right?
yeah.
What?
So they had to open here
Open
to
here.
fix everything. And then
So you got your
they had
battle
to open
scar.
here and here to fix whatever
To
was
fix.
going here. And then, as you can see, there's also one going
Oh,
up
I
here.
see,
I
I
had
see.
2 surgeries
Holy hell.
because I had K wires after the first one just to hold everything together, and then I had to take them out eventually.
Jeez.
So yeah, and then we did the X-rays this way. Then we sent it to Dr. Abby. She was still on golf then.
Okay.
No, she was on Tristan da Cunha. And then she just looked at them and she was like, "This might be a problem, but just take the X-rays facing this way, and immediately you can see."
Well,
I don't know if
whoever-
I still have the X-rays on my phone. I don't think so because I stored them somewhere in the cloud
Yeah.
in case I might need them.
Yeah. But
and you
it
could
seems
clearly
like
see.
it healed really well. Like your hand, is it like totally 100%, or do you feel like there's like some
So
limitations?
there are limitations because that's how far it goes.
Okay, I see.
I can't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's how far it goes.
Okay.
Then
Jeez.
that's obviously a problem.
Yo, but you could have lost your whole hand probably.
That's why I had to come back. I could have stayed on the island and then I would have lost function
Function
on
there.
on my hand.
Yeah.
So-
It's stressful.
Yeah, I made the call as soon as the doctor was like, "You're gonna lose your hand." I was like, "Oh, tickets, I'm gone."
I feel like stuff like that probably, especially that happens so early,
Yeah.
like that whole scene of you need to go leave, and what was the other lady's name that had to leave?
V.
V.
Wawero.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that has bad implications for the team for the year,
Of
because
course, but it changes the
it's,
whole
the whole
dynamic.
dynamic is like,
The whole
oh
dynamic.
shit.
And
And
she
you're like
had
stressed.
Elsa as a partner.
As a
so
partner.
It's leaving Elsa,
Elsa
all by herself.
alone.
At least for me, it was just me.
Yeah.
The only sad part was I couldn't continue with the fieldwork, so fieldwork had to be suspended, which sucked.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it just shows you how fortunate you were in the other 2 years.
Yeah.
That you didn't get injured.
Yo.
So, like, yeah.
you see, those were the years. Those were the years, man.
Now,
And I've been
let's talk
fortunate to have like the best teams, bro. My
Yeah.
teams have been fantastic.
Yeah, it looked like
Especially
you had
my
a nice
first
team. The
Yes.
first team. You love that team.
Yes.
What made your
yeah.
team so nice? Just the people, great vibes.
I think it was just great vibes and just common understanding and just respect for each other. I think that goes a long way.
Yeah,
because
it does.
when you respect someone, you wouldn't do anything to violate them, you know, because you hold them in that regard.
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, I had a team like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Of course, we're humans. We're gonna have like disagreements here and
Yeah,
there,
that's
but it
normal.
didn't change the dynamic of the team.
That's awesome.
So that was amazing.
You probably also helped each other with your work, everybody.
Yeah,
It's always
man.
fun to
it
do.
Was, it was really cool. And the reason why the first year was really, really cool is we didn't have a chef.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that bonded us the most.
I think it bonds you.
It
That's a
bonds you
good.
as a
That's a
team.
good point that you're
Yeah,
making. I
yeah.
know the chef is really nice to have.
It's-
And we had
it
an
is.
awesome chef. He was great. He was probably the best chef that we could have
Yeah.
had. But anyway, but the reason that you're saying that, I also think it will bond people, because now you have to work with these people that you don't know yet at the
Yeah,
start.
exactly.
You need to figure out, okay, how are we going to make these meals?
Yeah.
And
Man,
especially if you rotate to the teams,
Yeah.
with the cooking teams. Did you guys do that as well?
we did. So
That helps a lot.
yeah, there was 20 of us, and every day it was someone else.
Someone else. Yeah.
And it was easy for you to be like, I'm gonna be in the field. Can you take over for me? And then when I come back, I'll take over
take
your
over
shift.
your
And,
shift,
like,
yeah. You can
people
easily-
had no problems doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
When you're cooking, someone will come. What do you need me to help you with?
Yeah.
Should I chop this and whatever? Washing dishes was never a problem because people just wanted to help. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think that made us a really strong team.
That's
I
good.
think so. Yeah.
That's good.
Man. And yeah, I made lifelong friendships from both teams.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I wanted to ask you now, the geo work, like you said you went out like Mesrach every
Mesrach,
day,
yeah,
for
yeah,
5
yeah.
days, for instance.
Yeah.
You obviously went to other places as well.
Yeah.
But like,
so,
what do you do in the field? How does it work? Like, do you have like, equipment that you use, or how does it work?
Okay, so let me break it down in like my first year. So with my first year, I was collecting data for my masters,
For your masters. Okay.
which was Mesrach and Third Sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I was collecting data from those two sites, and it was mostly my Aeolian work. And then around the island, we had weather stations,
Yeah.
Repettos, SWAT corps, and at Water Tunnel.
Yeah.
So when I did my round islands, I would have to service those stations, download data. I never had to change batteries because those batteries on those loggers would last 7 years.
Wow.
So we were logging soil moisture, soil temperature, air temperature, and rainfall. Of
This
course.
is not part of the winter. It's just separate,
No,
right?
no. The wind is a
Separate.
separate project. So in each of these sites, and we would put it in Myers because it was a Maya study. And then, we also had MJ's work, which was geochemistry in the water on the island.
Oh, that's cool.
So the reason why I went to that site every 5 days was actually for Mesrach.
Yeah.
For Mesrach and soft plume, because we had this big logger. We called it the octopus. So it was amazing.
Okay.
80,000 rand piece of equipment.
Holy hell.
Guess which batteries it uses?
Triple A.
Triple A. 8 of them, and you had to change them every 5 days or else.
Yeah, that's not gonna last.
I'm like,
Who designed this logger?
why didn't you have a battery internally? Come on, guys. But anyway, it created a job for me.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it. So I had to go and service it every 8 days, download the data, because it also had like very little memory. So that was a very cool study.
Okay.
And then with Mesrach, I'd had to go sample my sediment traps. So yeah, that was mostly what I did, and then I did that every 5 days, and then I went around the island every second month.
Every second month.
Every second month.
To get all the data.
Yeah, to get all the data, download the data, replace whatever needed to be replaced.
And then you probably analyze the data at base.
Well,
Did
it
you-
wasn't my data because
Yeah, you just downloaded
I
it.
downloaded
Yeah.
it, and
You just
at the end of the year, people that are going to use the data, they use the data, and then
Okay.
obviously I was using my data.
yeah.
So yeah, that was my first year, and then my second year, it was mostly like my master's work now. So I did Mesrach quite a lot, and then we also still had the sites around the island, so I'd have to go around, and then we had some transects of some Maya sites from base, which Smoo was doing a project on, from base, and then all the way up to juniors. So I'd have to do that every month to get the data as well. So a lot of our work is having loggers and scientific equipment, just recording the data.
Recording the
We
data.
download, we analyze, we model, and
Right.
write a lot of English.
Yeah. So it's mainly like you're doing soil temperature and that kinds of thing. So you're not actually looking at the type of rocks and how they formed, or how do you?
No, that would be geomorphology. That would be geology work.
Yeah.
So Liesel was doing mostly
The geology work.
working on the rocks, because she sampled the whole area, all the places that were marked as glaciated. So we had to take rocks from.
Because I
like,
can remember last takeover you guys sampled the rocks. Was that
Yeah.
for her work? Or
That's
what?
still to continue with her work.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and then she's doing a lot of dating to know exactly how old the rocks are on the island, and just to determine when the last glacial maximum was, which is like
That's
the
cool.
ice age and
I
stuff
like
like
that.
that. His study is really cool, man.
Yo, imagine how
It's
the
very
islands looked like
technical
in that
also.
time. Just the whole thing is probably
Yeah,
glaciated.
it was,
Yo.
and it was bigger than that,
Yeah, it was bigger than that.
which is one of the reasons why the ship can't get closer, because of the rocks that are still underneath the water.
Underneath the water, yeah.
Yeah.
It all eroded and it just made like a whole
Yeah,
low
it's just sank.
That's why you get boot rock out there.
Amazing.
So how was that formed? So obviously the land went all the way till there, and the land in between
And then
got
it
eroded.
receded. I don't know how boot rock came about. I'm still interested, but there was some sort of like upwelling or something that
Yeah.
happened. Surely.
Surely, yeah.
Yeah. Boot rock is crazy.
But there's a lot of, it's not just boot rock, there's a lot of outcroppy stuff.
Yeah,
Like
when you
that
see
Dragon
from the
Rock at
horizon,
Ship's
yeah.
Cove, at,
Yeah.
at Mackie Bay, there's some, there's quite a few actually.
Yeah, man.
These small little island stuff. But like I was looking at, I think it's Kerguelen, Kerguelen, is that how you pronounce
Golden
it?
Rise.
They are very interesting because they are like explosive volcanoes, and that's why it like makes sense that the islands, there's many islands because it exploded and then the ash, like when the wind
Yeah.
and sediment
And then it settled, yeah.
settled. That's so interesting. I never thought about that. That's probably why it looks like that.
You mean Kerguelen Rise or you mean Kerguelen, the island?
All the islands,
Oh,
yeah,
sure,
the whole area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was wondering, like if I should get a map of Prince Edward actually.
Yeah, why
Prince
don't you have
Edward,
it here?
I don't have one. Prince Edward and Marion were connected, maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Was
I
it
don't
too
see where they
separate?
fit, man.
Two separate.
Where do they fit?
Nah,
Where would
the water, the
way
sea
Keith
obviously
said-
rise or something like that. Maybe. I'm probably totally wrong
I
there.
don't know. I don't know.
It's two different spots. Yeah.
It's
I'm not
interesting.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's very.
That was your work.
So did they totally suspend What Day Around Island?
Suspended. Well, they said we're not allowed to do it. Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't want to get into that too much, but some of us in any case did it. So.
Really?
Yeah.
How well did you do?
Well, I said on Zaf's podcast, but I'll say again, I did it really fast. I did it in 12 hours.
That's
In
crazy.
47 minutes.
Yeah. Did you put your name on the boot?
Yeah, I was on the booth.
Oh, yeah. That's solid. That's solid. 12 hours is fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to run.
Oh, you have to run.
You have to run, and it's. But I told some of the people in my team, I felt like if I go again, I can beat the record. And I never went
And
again.
then you never went.
Yeah, I
Why
didn't
didn't you
have
go
time.
for it, man?
I felt really confident I can actually beat it.
Yeah.
And I went clockwise, not anti-clockwise. I did it more difficult. So, yeah, it's probably the clockwise record. There should actually be, like, on that boot, clockwise or anti-clockwise as well. Write that
Yeah,
down.
but you can't do it anymore.
Yeah, you can't do it anymore. Well, it depends on the team, I think,
Can't do it anymore.
and what the people want. Not what you.
Yeah.
I think the issue is, like, when I did it as well, you don't want to injure yourself.
And then they're gonna be like, you see?
Yeah, you see?
We told you.
We told you.
And
So
the-
I understand why they don't want people to do it. I can remember Michelle, she's listening. She told me not to do it,
Yeah.
but when she told me, I already went. I was like, yeah, I
Do
won't,
it,
I won't do
man.
it.
Done.
Already did, so sorry. But I didn't tell her that. But anyway, I think she'll be fine with it.
Yeah. And I mean, you're back in one piece.
Yeah,
Two
but
pieces.
like, I realized when I got to Cape Davis, like, if I wanted to beat the record, I had to run from there.
From-
there. And I was already cramping and I was tired and my left knee was
And then you
gone.
have Repetals to Long Ridge, which is very miry.
So I just kept my pace instead of running that section. But yeah, I was just realizing if I run here, I can injure myself, and I don't want that. I don't want to
And
fuck
how
up
is
my
it?
knee now, and then I can't work.
Yeah.
So I just decided, nah, let's just go under 13 hours. I'll make it. I keep this pace. And that's what I did.
And Michelle is going to be really upset with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you have to explain to people, oh, I did this fun thing and I fucked up my knee.
And now my boss is mad at me.
Yeah, no, that wasn't a good idea. So, yeah, but it's a fun thing to do. I feel like our team, not all of our team members went out to do it, but what's cool, Bubele did it twice.
For real?
Yeah, he did it twice. So
then it was cool. If the
it was
team leader was
cool,
doing
man.
then
It was cool, and
that's amazing.
and he's really responsible. The second time he took Spa with him, and they enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, they did it very long because Spa is a base guy. He doesn't go out too much, but he did it, and I'm quite proud of him.
That's incredible.
So that's what I like
to be
about.
on your feet, bro.
Yeah,
it's a long time to be on your feet.
And like Dylan also said, it's actually better to do it faster. You don't actually want to do it long, like 18 hours, 19 hours.
Yeah, I did it 19 hours, and
That's
like,
long.
it was 3 of us.
Yeah, it's hectic, man. But it's a cool. It's like the comrades of Marion, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I was so mean to those guys.
You got frustrated.
Yeah. But I was like, we're just doing it because we said we wanted to do it as a threesome. But now I'm like, that competitive
You get
spirit just...
I feel like I got competitive in the sense that I felt like I can actually do it, you know. I felt like I can challenge
when
the
you
record.
feel it, bro. When
And
you
like
feel it.
Rihanna and Megan the previous night, everyone was discussing of doing it, and I was like, I don't think I should go.
Was there anyone at the Huts when you did it?
No one was at the Huts.
That's nice.
But they were like, no, you should do it. You're fast. You can actually do a good time. And I was like, Then they like motivated me because they didn't want to go. They didn't want to do it. And then I just did it.
And when you did it,
I did it alone. Yeah, the other guys
everyone knew.
went the other way. Yeah, everybody knew I went.
Okay.
So at least it's not like I did it secretively.
Who went the other way?
Like Dylan, Monique, Peter,
At
and
the same
Marcel
time?
at the same time. So I met them at.
That's amazing.
Yo, man, I met them after Swartkops right there. That's where I met
So,
them. So I went around
You
here.
guys were halfway, actually.
Yeah, and I met them there.
Both groups were halfway.
Yeah, halfway. So they did it very fast, going over Azure.
that way, yeah.
But then they slowed down here. They struggled. I don't know where they struggled exactly, but they got really slow, Dylan told me. It's probably the last section. You know, the last section, it's just
Hey, bro, there's a lot of
this section here
going
was
up
like,
Rooks, and then going up Feldmark,
yeah.
and then you have to divert going down Johnny's, going to Kildaki. I think that's the worst.
That is the worst.
Because you can just gun it straight and go to base. But
Now you have to go there.
turn
It's like
and
a
go to
psychological thing.
bruh.
That was what I was thinking of, and that was why I did it actually clockwise.
Yeah.
And that not anti, because I thought like this section's gonna annoy me to the fucking bone if I get there.
Yeah.
Like just what you said, because you know you can just go there.
Feldmark is the worst. And you know what? It's just like getting out of the hut from Mixed Pickle, and then you have to get up. It's the same with Water Tunnel.
Get up. It's the same thing. And I left. I had like a Coke, you know, like a Coca-Cola that I left for this day. And I drank my Coke just before Azure, and I got this energy boost. I was like, yeah, here we go.
That's cool.
But I hit Azure so well. I hit it so well. I did it. It wasn't even difficult for me. Azure. I did it cock fast. I think I did it in 2 hours from Mixed Pickle to Cape Davis.
Yeah, that's impressive.
And then from Repetto's was fucking fast.
Yeah.
The last section.
Cape
I did
Davis
it.
to
Repetto's was like 15 minutes.
That's it.
And from Repetto's to base, I did in 1 hour, 15 minutes. I was like pacing it.
No, that's legit though.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Kildalki, I think I did in 1 hour 30.
Yeah.
And I did it half in the dark, and I got quite lost, and my torch went off. And
No, shit.
I was like,
What time did you leave?
we left 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, so it's just a little bit dark still, but it wasn't even necessary for me because I did it so fast. I could have started in the day, and I would have probably saved time like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I just wanted to challenge myself, and that was the point.
Bruh.
That's why I did it.
So when I was mentally preparing for it, so what I did was I had to do my sampling.
Yeah. You
It
like
was
pushed
summer.
your-
It was December.
Yeah.
So like the light would, the sun would set at like 8 or whatever. I left base, and I went all the way to Swartkops in one day.
In one day, yeah.
Went to Swartkops. I did all my work. Then around 7ish, So it goes like just in time for comms.
For comms.
And then I woke up. I was like, what are we doing? Then I went back to base.
From Swartkops.
Yeah.
From this side around.
Yeah.
So you did it in 2 days, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Then you
do
realize
this.
you can do this. Yeah.
I can do this because when I got to water tunnel, I was like, it was what? 3. I was like, man, I still have the energy. I just ate. I still have the sunlight. Let me do this.
Yeah.
And everyone at base, because on the board, I was like, I was going to be gone for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then when I rocked up, everyone was like, shit.
Why are you here, man?
Yeah. I was like, just trying to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
Yeah, then you knew you
And then I
could
was
do it.
like, okay, I can do this. And then,
It's amazing how fit you become. Like at the start, I didn't think like, yeah, it's far to walk, man. And then I heard people say about the round island. One day around island, like, yeah, it's probably possible.
yeah.
Possible.
After,
I understand.
after a couple of months, you're like, I can do this.
I understand. It's possible.
I think the most important thing is getting used to the walking because gumboots, it's damn.
Oh, I love the gumboots, man. I actually miss the gumboots.
That's crazy. You have to get used to walking in gumboots and you have to get used to the terrain.
Yeah.
The substrate is quite
Different.
it's wet. And knowing where you're going. Those three things, I think they're very important. And that's the second time was easier because I know where things are. I know how far it takes. Because the first time, my first round island, 20 minutes. 2 hours later, we're still not in this place. But now, the second time, I knew exactly where I was going, and muscle memory it just hit, man. So, Marion.
Yeah, it's amazing how you just like later on just learn the island so quickly and it's so much easier and you know exactly, okay, that's going to take me 1 hour to get there. But at the start, you couldn't really make that calculations in your head.
Yeah.
So I can remember our work took a lot longer. So it meant my design for my project was a lot less than I actually wanted it. Because at the start, we did it slow and we got there, and it's winter, so it gets dark very quickly.
And obviously, like,
and then later on, you got fit, and you realize, shit, we could have actually done more. But then you forgot. But before, you were more unfit and you didn't know the island. And that's why you had this work set out for you. Yeah, so it's interesting. So
did you guys have to go out when you had snow cover?
Yeah, you have to go out. Yeah, we like at Cathedral, we caught mice in the snow. We caught them in the snow. We got a lot in the snow. Yo, man.
You wonder how those guys survive up
They
there. There's
survive.
nothing up there, man.
Yeah, they eat anything, like seeds, small seeds, anything they can find. Very opportunistic. Like in Takeover, it snowed the whole Veldmark Plateau, snowed over. Like it was deep, man. We're like knee deep when we walked over there. When I told Abdul, he took over from me now, and Nicola who walked with me, she was also there for Takeover. I told her, I'm going to go walk a bit. I'm going to go up to Jellybean.
Yeah.
Jellybean, you know what Jellybean is? That lake up there. Because the lake down there was frozen over. It was like, yo!
Really?
Yeah. You know that one at the Karoo?
Yeah.
I walked on it. Over the frozen lake.
I've never had that. Okay,
Seriously?
that's amazing. No.
Yeah, but it was actually a warm day, so it was already starting to melt. So the center of the lake was already melting. But then I was like, fuck, I'm probably not going to make it for the lake up there. But then I didn't realize Jellybean's fucking deep.
It is.
So when I got there, it wasn't frozen at all.
Oh, no.
And I was like...
Did you jump in?
I jumped in, man. I took a dip. there at Jellybean.
Was it a nice day, though?
Yo, it was a nice day. But it was a shock, man. It was like... I was there for 5 seconds. I just told myself, don't be a pussy.
That's
don't be a pussy.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Just get yourself in, get in, and get out.
Well, is the video?
No, I didn't take
it.
I'm not going to take a bloody picture of my
for
naked
you,
ass, man. You want to see it or what?
Why were you naked? Why did you wear underwear?
No, man, I did it naked so I can put on my dry clothes again. That's what I thought.
Sure.
I'm like thinking smart here. I don't want to
okay.
wear any wet stuff.
No.
But yeah, that was fun. But the point why I wanted to say that story, like when I walked a little bit, you just see mouse tracks everywhere in the snow. And it's like high up. And I was like, oh my gosh. I hope MFM is seeing this. I hope they climbed up. And that same day, they actually went to Cathedral. So they saw the same thing. They also saw the mouse tracks.
Bro. They've adapted. It's going to be a mission, but it can be done.
Yeah, no, it can be done.
Be a mission. I think it has to be a multi-year mission. If you bait 1 year, you let it rest for another year, and then you bait again the next year.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Actually.
Yeah, you can't
do it in one season.
You can't do it once. There's a lot of crevices on the island. There's a lot of like volcanic fissures. There's a lot of lava tunnels that you need serious.
And I've seen mice in lava tunnels. Like, I've seen them.
I mean, that's where they would try.
And like in all the bird burrows, of course, you'll find them in there as well. So. That's my worry, the burrowing birds. Because you get them even up at Spitzkop. There's those tiny birds that burrow in Scoria. The grey lava. Grey petrel. I don't think it's a grey petrel, it's that diving petrel.
Diving petrel, yeah. They're tiny. They're up there at Spitzkop.
Yeah.
So now
there's a lot there,
there's a lot of them there. Yeah. So, I don't...
South Georgian diving petrel, and then it's the other one, and just a common diving petrel, I think. But like that's an interesting concept. Like maybe the mice are feeding on their young ones. We don't even know it. And then you go throw your bait, and then they're just chilling in that burrow eating the
ones
bird.
That are dead, or
the ones that are dead, and then they don't go out for the bait. So, that makes it very difficult. And you don't know.
Evidence that they eat each other. If you leave them long enough in a space where one is dead and then there's a couple of them, they're gonna start eating.
No, they eat each other, 100%.
So
I looked at the data for
survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Yes.
I looked at our data now when I was in Pretoria with Michelle. We caught over 4,000 mice in our traps, like 2 seasons. I was like surprised. I was like, there wasn't that many.
There's a lot of them, bro.
And that's just like some spots, That's just some spots.
I remember,
that's like that's nothing compared to the whole island.
Yeah. I remember our first year, we took over from Yinka's team. He was M71, I was M72. They had a tally of how many mice each person killed.
That's cool.
They were there on 40s, bro, 30s.
Yeah.
And it was a list of people. I'm like, these are a lot of mice. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be a big mission and it's going to be super impressive.
No, I think they can pull it off. It's just we need a lot of people. I'm thinking of if they do it, I might go.
To volunteer.
Yeah, I think it will be a very cool experience, and I think really they would like to have people like me.
Especially people that know the island. And people that work.
They're going to need people like that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that Vonica and Rolf that's there now will probably also go for
They're
that.
very keen because they were part of the golf one. Yeah. And you need that experience.
Yeah.
You need that experience.
No, you do,
definitely.
So I think that can be very fun. Very cool to do. Fuck up the mice. We're gonna do it. Not that I'm against mice. It's just the mice are not supposed to be there. It's like I don't want to let people think we kill animals for fun. It's
not for fun.
They're fucking up the birds there, and the birds are endangered.
And the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's not just the birds. That's what people forget. All the invertebrates I collect. There's not a lot. You have to struggle there in the weather, in the wind, in the cold to find these things. Yeah, you have to find them with your tweezers. And then you hear stories from people that's been to Prince Edward, like, nah, man, there's moths everywhere. I just want to zap them, like, you motherfucker. I'm struggling to find these moths here. Jeez, I found a lot of larvae during the year, but the adults, I can probably tell you I found like 12, 15 in my sites, probably in total. But I was lucky enough, and takeover we found quite a few now. And it's more eyes. That's what I realized. then it's 4 people looking.
Yeah.
When I'm alone, I'm on my own, so it's less
it's
eyes.
boring.
So you can't find as many. That's what I realized. It's so nice to have more people actually helping and doing at the same time, and you find more stuff.
So how many species of invertebrates do we have on the island?
I always forget the number, but it's about 40.
Is it a lot?
It's about 40,
40,
yeah.
okay.
And a lot of them are invasive. I'm glad we have a video now because I can do that. Invasive because I give it, let's say, I say invasive, but they're not really invasive, they're more alien, I would say. That's why...
What's the difference?
Invasive is when it's a threat. You know, it's out competing the indigenous ones.
Okay.
Like some of the flies there, I don't feel like they're out competing. It's just like they took a niche that nothing else was taken before. You know, so I'll say they're alien because they're not from there. They're not from the sub-Antarctic.
But they're not really threatening whatever.
Yeah, they're not really threatening. A lot of people would say it's invasive, but it's a difficult topic on an island system that's so young, you know. Obviously, a lot of stuff like the Lazula, that's an example of invasive, I would say, because that thing spreads quickly. And that's... and that takes over the environment. So I would like say that's invasive. Yeah, that's invasive. But like your stuff like one of the, like that bottle fly, you know, that fly you get at your donkey. And I wouldn't say that's invasive. I'd just say it's not taking over yet, but it is an alien, but I just say monitor it. Keep an eye on it and see what's happening. It can still potentially become invasive, I would say. But it's not like
taking... a lot of spiders also.
Yeah, but you get 3 indigenous spider species.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know when we stack our weather station, because it needs to be at least like a meter high, where you have your wind sensors and your wind direction. So we normally place like some big volcanic chunks or some rocks. And then over time I need to open the Pelican case to download the data and everything, and you'd get spiders there.
You get spiders there.
Yeah.
No.
Not very big, but big enough for you to be like, yo.
Yeah, those hunting spiders.
Yeah. Multicolored sometimes, because I've seen a black and white one, and then I've seen a brown and like a yellowish one. I had pictures.
There's one that makes a web. That's the smaller one. And then you get the bigger one. He's a hunting spider. He hunts the Colembala, the small springtails. Okay. That's what they eat. That's why you'll find them on the interior as well. At Cathedral, you'll find that species because they hunt the small Colembala under the rocks.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on there that not everyone's aware about. You know, everyone's aware about the seals and the penguins and the birds, but like the Colembala community, there is also a very interesting thing. There's 15 species there. 3 are invasive. The one I would say is alien. The other 2 invasive.
Invasive for sure.
Definitely. What's the thing's name now? Damn it. Cerophylla. It's like a cosmopolitan. Yeah, coastal areas. It's everywhere. Yeah, that thing. I think it's all the nutrients. I love that shit. And obviously it came to the island when people brought soil in.
And all the nutrients from base.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah. But it's from the penguin poo and from the seal poop. So it's quite interesting. And then the aphids are also invasive. They're also, Abdul, the guy now that is on the island, he's actually going to look at the aphids and the wasp that parasitizes the aphid. Very cool work as he's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm quite jealous because I wish I did that because it's a cool study. But anyway, I'm really happy he can do it.
Later.
Yeah, no, I'm still chatting with him. He's doing well.
And how are they doing as a team?
I think they're doing well.
Okay.
That's what he's saying. I've never heard anything negative yet, so, which is good.
It is good. Yeah. Also from the guys, they haven't said anything.
You know, you have to cope.
Quite a bit.
You have to cope.
Yeah,
you figure out ways. You know, you can't be a crybaby.
We're here eating salads. Leave us alone.
Yeah. So tell me about your PhD. Like, what's that about? How long have you worked on it? When did you start?
I started it 2021.
Okay.
Really, gonna start it 2020, but
The COVID
COVID
thing,
happened.
yeah.
So I did my proposal 2021.
Yeah.
So I'm working on aeolian processes, which are wind-generated processes, and obviously they create land features and landforms.
And this is
So-
on Marion.
This is on Marion, yeah. So I'm particularly looking at two places, which is Mesrach and Santa Rosa. Mesrach,
Santa Rosa Hill.
yeah,
No.
Santa Rosa Hill, but the base of
The
Santa
base.
Rosa Hill, you'll see there are some interesting land features there. If
Yeah,
you've
those.
been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
With all those small hills there. That's-
Yes, well, you can call them hills, but it's like ripples, and then most of them are like deflation and hollows. We've just
What's deflation? What does that mean?
so the wind would hit up against something, so it
Yeah.
would deflect.
Deflect.
Yeah, yeah.
Then it will erode
And then it will
over time.
and then obviously creates a ripple effect, and then you'd have those.
Okay.
So it would eject sediments into the airstream, and then it would land, and then create trajectories that would continue, and then you'd have these landforms created over time. So these landforms are they're in quite a few places, but you've noticed that it has to be flat scoria without any vegetation.
Yeah.
That's where you get the most prominent of these features. So Mesrach has mega ripples. I don't know if you've been to the beach where you've seen like these ripples on the sand that are created by
What
the
beach?
water.
Oh,
Any
oh,
beach.
oh, any
any
beach. Oh,
any
yeah,
beach,
yeah. I've seen that ripples, yeah.
So you have them on Mesrach in quite a big scale.
At the top.
No,
Where is it exactly?
not so we call that area Mesrach, but
It's at the bottom.
it's the hill and then just right in front of it.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
I don't know if I can like.
Yeah, the guy can show me.
So Mesrach, the hill is here, and then you have that lake.
Yeah, I know that
So
lake. Sometimes
there's-
I walk past
There's a
it.
flat section here.
Eh,
That's where you get.
okay, you get this.
That's where you get these land features, which are called mega ripples.
Okay.
So at first,
I should get a bigger map.
yeah, you should.
And a big South African map as well. That'd be cool.
Because
Anyway.
it's going to be easier to reference.
Yeah.
So you get these flat plains that have unconsolidated volcanic material, which is like your scoria, but it's flat, no vegetation. And then you have these ripples. They're called mega ripples because the wavelength is like 3 meters and they're quite long across. So they're interesting in the sense that these are land features that you find in arid and semi-arid areas, which is like your deserts and
Yeah.
really dry places. So it was really interesting to have them on Marion because
Marion
Marion
is
is quite wet. It's quite wet.
So maybe there's spots there where it's actually dry because of the wind, maybe.
Well, the
that
island
the theory?
is getting drier if
Yeah.
you've heard stories
Yeah.
and certain Mayas that are
Everybody
drying out.
says that.
Yeah,
It's been there like 10 years ago or 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They say the same thing.
It's getting drier. I mean, there's also like so before you get into Hoppy's Hell, there's that little thin section that has like a bit of, I don't know what you call it, a pond or a lake.
Yeah, that thin
That
pond.
long,
yeah,
thin
that long
pond.
pond, yeah.
That pond used to be bigger.
Much
It's
bigger.
gotten drier over the years. I actually have pictures from all the years because I had to do
What was your first year? Though?
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
You'll probably see the difference
Yeah.
in 10 years.
So because I also had to do Third Sister quite a lot.
yeah.
So every time I would see it and then I would take photos. I also have photos of it with the snow.
But it's like, I could have even seen a difference in my years. You know that when you get to Tripod, is that lake.
That lake.
There's no more lake.
What do you mean?
Like that lake there at the
Between those two like
two
little
copies.
copies, yeah.
Like when I can't remember I swore there was a lake, but then
There was a lake, a legit
during
lake
our
there.
year it just disappeared.
You fish. There's no way.
Yeah.
Do you have a photo?
No.
This is insane.
Yeah, but now you haven't been there now
No, man,
recently, but that lake is gone, man. I
think
never took a photo because I thought it's normal.
I
You
think I
see?
can literally go to like my Instagram. I'll try to look.
Yeah,
my
that lake
Instagram.
is gone, but like, I can remember speaking to Peter as well, and he's like, yeah, I swore there was a lake in Takeover.
I have
So I think we had quite a dry year then, compared to other years. And I think the people now are experiencing more snow and rain than we have. That's quite interesting.
Bruh, I think I have a photo of that lake, man,
Seriously?
somewhere. Because I remember man, don't tell me.
No, you probably... There's some of your equipment, what is that?
Yeah, wait, I'll show you. Oh, this is the one with Third Sister. Bro, I don't know. I don't think I have it anymore.
Yeah, but you probably have a lot of photos that you have.
Yeah, maybe I should have brought my laptop or something.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, there was a lake, a legit lake, man. I remember penguins would walk up and come drink there, they would swim.
Swim in there.
Also, the pups would come in.
But you can see there was a lake. You
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
from
yeah.
the
material,
and you can see now all the sediment obviously went in. There's like more grassy now.
That's crazy.
But it's like this section even, like if it rains, this is like water everywhere.
Yeah.
But like when it gets dry quickly. And then the water just disappears. This is at, what you call him, Hendrik Vister.
Yeah.
Tafelberg there.
Yeah. Bro.
Yeah, man, that's why.
You just blew my mind just now.
Yeah, man, that lake's gone.
Wow. Okay. That's serious.
It's weird.
Okay, but yeah, going back to my PhD.
Yeah.
So with the masters, what I was trying to discover is how much sediment gets passed through that whole system within a set number of years, which was 2 years, and it amounted to about 3 kgs over a long period, which kind of proved what Dave had. Because Dave did a very short paper, like a short com on the Aeolian features, and then I just took it and I ran with it, and yeah, we discovered the sediment flux of that area. But now with the PhD, what I want to do is, so with sediments that are in a flat plane, it takes a certain level of wind velocity to dislodge them for them to move. So now that's called the saltation threshold. So I want to determine the saltation threshold for Marion because it's never been done in the sub-Antarctic. And it's just to add to the literature because we need to understand how these landforms are being prominent in an area like Marion, especially in the sub-Antarctic. So there's a lot of literature about the thresholds in the north. So I'm trying to do that for Marion because studying these thresholds has like a lot of implications in terms of like environmental management and also like the climate studies, you know.
Climate studies.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
It's
I don't
mostly
understand everything because I don't have a background in that, but I'm trying to understand how it works.
You didn't have geomorphology as a module?
No.
Oh, okay.
I didn't.
Yeah, so it's basically like wind related stuff because a lot of people use wind as a thing to support their argument. I'm making wind the main character in this whole thing to see, okay, this is how wind affects the environment and how it will affect the environment moving on with climate change and with the island relatively getting drier.
If it's drier, because wind with water gives a different effect on the soil and the rocks. It makes it erodes differently.
Yeah, and you can link it also with botany and ecological studies because the wind carries like seeds and genetic material in places where, like, for instance, I'm going to make a very dumb example because I don't know.
No, it's fine.
Let's say you get azo growing in a place where like it's not supposed to grow, for instance, because it was carried by the wind. And, so it has those kind of implications in a very like fine scale.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
The wind there is interesting.
Yeah.
Because that shaped the whole island, basically.
I am, and so the complex thing about this whole thing is there's a lot of variables that are involved. It's not just the wind and the sediments flying, because also Marion is different in the sense that it's cold. Sometimes the landscape freezes, and then you don't get any sediments moving. Sometimes you get snow in your sediment traps. Instead of getting sediments, you get snow, which is basically you're getting.
But that's a good result.
It's a good result, yeah. It's part of the results, and also you have the rain. The rain has the ability to keep the sediments together, but also it has the ability to dislodge them because rain splash, and then together with the wind, and then it carries the sediments and so forth.
Yeah.
So.
And you get those dry periods as well. And then obviously when it's dry, and the wind comes, you get these grains flying everywhere.
So, that's very interesting. You would think that. I got the most sediments when the conditions were very windy, but also very wet.
Very wet.
Yeah.
So not with
so
the dry.
It means there's a role that the rain is playing in dislodging the sediments and the movement of sediments. Yes, I would get relatively high sediments on like dry days because naturally, if it's dry, then it's easy to move. It's not as heavy as it is when it's wet. But now, the windiest period on the island starts. So I did high frequency studies where we went to go sample the same place every day at 12, just to get what's happening within that 5 days and how much sediment we get and what influence that event of high sediments.
Yeah.
Because if you do it in a 5-day stretch, then you can pinpoint at what day did you get the most sediments, and then you can go back to your data and be like, okay, what was the wind speed? What was the rain like? What was the soil moisture? What influenced this massive sediment influx? And also, I'm trying to link that with the synoptic charts. That's why I always, every year.
What is the synoptic chart?
Synoptic charts is the weather systems that you get from SOARs. So we normally get it from SOARs because they draw the charts every day, every 3 hours.
Yeah, every 3 hours.
UTC.
Okay.
Yeah, every 3 hours. So you can see the weather systems. And then you can see the weather systems that were over Marion during a certain point in a certain time. And then you can zero it down to a certain day, and then you can tell, okay, when these synoptic charts or these synoptic events happen, you get high winds, you get high rain, and then you get high sediments as well. So I'm trying to link that.
Okay.
It's quite complex. You have to put it in a very sequential way so that the story makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. I like that. But I think I might have missed it now. But how do you actually catch the sediment?
Oh,
exactly?
Okay. Yeah. So we have these sediment traps called BSNEs, Big Spring Number 8. They're made in Texas.
Okay.
They have a 95% success rate. So,
wow.
So yeah, you put them vertically up. They move. We call them. It's called omnidirectional because it moves with the wind. So if the wind comes this way, then
it will catch the sediment.
Yeah.
And obviously you take note of that as well.
Yeah.
Where the wind's from.
So that's where the wind direction comes. Yeah. You can tell, okay, during this period, the dominant wind direction was northwest or whatever. So these sediment traps, we had 4 sediment traps going up from the surface up to 1 meter. Because when we did my master's, we saw that the wind suspension goes up to 0.8 meters. So we was like, okay, let's just put it at 1 meter so that we can catch whatever we catch.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have those traps, 4 of them, and then I would record how much I get from each trap and the difference. And obviously, as you go higher, you get less sediment. compared to the ones at the bottom, which is brilliant because we're looking at the siltation threshold, and that's exactly the layer of where you find the siltation. Because siltation is the movement of sediments in a trajectory like sewer, instead of like being suspended and moving in the air. So yeah,
Okay, that's cool.
that's how we catch the sediments. And then we also did a survey because we have to define the land features. So we flew a drone for 1 year, and then we flew a drone for the second year so that we can overlay to see the difference. And you can actually see that
You can see the difference.
there's movement.
Wow.
Even
In 1 year?
In 2 years.
In 2 years, but still, that's
In 2 years. So
for
it's quite
rock and
significant.
soil. That's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
amazing.
It's quite significant
Such
because we were
a
like,
dynamic this place.
it's such a short
Yeah.
period for there to be any movement.
Yeah,
And
super
you could see
short.
the change in the length of the ripples and
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So
Yeah, you can't do that here. Like, you won't see any change here. Like,
Yeah.
if you go sample here in the mountains, oh,
it's disturbed.
it's,
gonna be disturbed.
yeah, it's impossible.
You leave stuff like that, it's gonna
No,
remain
that's
like
actually
that.
super interesting.
That's why I like to do geology stuff. When you sample a rock there, when you come back in 10 years, it's still there. Hasn't left.
Hasn't left, man. Stays there.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool. So you've had some cool positive results.
I have. Yeah. I have. It's looking good.
It's looking good.
Yeah. I just need to put it together and then and write it up nicely.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and sometimes, bro, I catch myself just relaxing, and I'm like, yo, you don't have a PhD. Why are you relaxing? And then I try to do something, even if like it's maybe 2 hours on that day, but every day I try to do something. You know? So yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned you were at Fort Hare, right?
Yeah. I'm
So
still
did you hear?
a Fort Hare student.
You are still there.
Yeah, I'm
You're
still a Fort Hare student.
Okay. But you obviously heard from about Marion when you were there, and then
Yeah, Vern is a lecturer.
he's a lecturer there.
Yeah, Professor Vern Anel is a
Yeah.
lecturer at Fort Hare. I met him in my first year. He taught me since first year, which was 2010.
Yeah.
And so he did climatology with us. I did geography, geology, and computer science. Those were my majors, and then I dropped geology. I did computer science and geography for my majors. And then I graduated. Then I started honors. And then he's still talking about this Marion Island because he would make examples of like certain clouds and certain processes and stuff like that. And then this one time, class was over, and I was like, I'm gonna ask this guy, what's this place?
What is this place?
Because clearly he has pictures of him at that place. What's this place? He was like, I don't have time today. Come to my office on Monday. We'll talk about it. I was like, okay, cool. Then over the weekend, I was like, why did I do that? Now I have to go to this guy's office, and he's probably going to be there, and I'm going to have to ask all these questions.
You're not prepared for it.
And I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to ask, what's this place? You keep on talking about it. I'd like to know more.
Yeah.
I went into his office. Yo, bruh, it's like I was talking to my friend. Because he just came alive when he had to talk about the island.
He loved it.
He loves the island, and he told me exactly what to expect. That's even before he told me that there's an opportunity to go as an overwinter and whatever. So we had that chat, and he told me stories and whatever. I was like, yeah, man, this is a very cool place. And then he asked me, are you really interested? I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'll talk to you soon. And then in a couple of weeks, he was like, okay, there's an advert out. Do you want to apply? I was like, yeah, sure. I applied, not knowing that me applying is him saying you got the job.
You got the job.
He's going to do the thing. Yeah. Because he was looking for a willing overwinterer.
Yeah.
I think they they had just restarted the project, because at first it was ran by Professor Ian Mickelton, who was at Rhodes, but then Ian moved on to Sinai, and then Vern took over the Marion side. So I think under Vern, I was their first overwinterer. Well, after they got the grant for the project.
Yes.
So 2015, I was their first overwinterer. So yeah, man, I applied. I had to go up to Pretoria for the interview, and then after the interview, I went to go do my medicals, and then came home. And yeah, very lovely lady, Susan. She's very cool. She made me feel like comfortable and
yeah.
I felt at ease, and the interview just went well.
That's great.
And then came back, got an email, and then everything was. Then I was on my way to Marion.
Wow.
And then I told my mom, obviously, she was like, "What?" Like, yeah, I got this opportunity. I'm gonna be away for like quite a while. Which was like, are you gonna come back? Like, yeah, I'm gonna come back after a while. What's a while? After 13 months. All this time.
She
I'm
freaked
like,
out.
Yeah, she was like, really? Do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, I want to do this. Because what am I going to do?
No regrets.
Yeah.
Man.
And then, yeah, I got her on board, started preparing, and then.
You at least have a lot of time to prepare.
Yeah, she did. No. She had a lot of time, and yeah, my mom just she's like, do whatever, bro. Do whatever you want, and as long as you're happy and you're not doing anything stupid. I was like, okay. Then I left for the island, and the rest was history. Yeah.
And the second time it's probably easy to get in because you were there before.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we know you, we trust you, you can do it.
Yeah.
Or was it like that, or did you struggle to get it, or?
No, obviously I had to go the interview route and whatever, but whether I was getting it or not, it was also cool because I did it before. But also, like, you just want to go back and make sure, is that place real? You know? Just to make sure, was that a real place? And I interviewed and I got the job. But this time I had a focus because I knew that I had a project that I had to look after. I was doing my master's.
You know what
and
it's
obviously
about.
I know the island. Doing an honors and a master's is completely different. So I was more focused, I would say. And I had more responsibility because they were trying out this science leader thing. And I was the first science leader.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I think it just creates a bigger divide.
Actually.
Yeah. Unless the nice thing about it was the team leader that I had was just so legit, and he involved me in everything. So whatever meeting he wanted to hold, he would call me up and be like, listen, dude, from your side, what are your people? Are your people going to be okay to come and to the meeting? Because I know it's quite busy. Everyone is out. So can you guys make time to have a meeting?
No, that's nice.
Yeah, so we always had an open communication thing. So we never had issues.
Yeah, we didn't have a science leader, but we thought maybe we should have had one. But
I don't know, man. It depends. It depends on what the science leader does, because there's no function really. There's no authority really.
Yeah, it just shouldn't be authority. It should just be for communication.
Yeah.
Just to let people at base like understand. Okay, sorry, the sealers cannot be here for skivvy or blah blah blah. Because they have a lot of seals now, more than expected.
Exactly.
Just
Which
a
is
voice for
essentially
people.
someone you need to be like, guys, please understand this is what's happening.
Yes,
Some of us can't
it.
be here.
It's not an authority. It's just like a. But I can understand it can get to people's heads.
It does.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So I think I'm glad they did away with it, because some people also, like, I report to my PI. Why do I have to say anything to you?
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's good to have it like that. But you just need to have a team leader that is central. You don't want someone that's going to pick a certain side because I'm employed by this
Organization.
this organization, so I'm loyal to them. No, it's
More
a
of a-
whole
yeah.
team thing. Everyone should be respected and everyone should be considered.
Yeah,
And I think that's how you thrive as a team.
definitely.
So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is with Marion, man, it's been a huge part of my life the last
Yeah,
couple of years.
yes.
So it's very important to me. And I just want the science to continue. I just want to see like the young people going to do the science and continuing the lifeline of like the bloodline of Marion, because it's such a special place and there's still a lot to discover.
There is.
There's still a lot of science to be
There's
done
always
here.
new things to do.
You know?
Like I've had a lot of like thoughts of new projects that you can do. There's a lot of things you can do that's not being done. Like the whole
Exactly,
moss
bruh.
thing. Like I'm a botanist, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many moss to be described still,
Yeah, dude.
and to like understand why do they grow here. Like you can relate it to the stuff you're doing, even with the wind and the soil. Like,
Yeah.
Like you get some moss that they're substrate
There's
dependent.
a
So it
lot,
depends on
yeah.
the substrate.
Yeah.
What they grow
it's highly
on.
dependent
So
on the substrate.
it's
And
quite
if-
interesting.
If the environment, if the climate changes in a very drastic way, then the substrate changes, and then you get new things.
Exactly. You get an environment for other things.
Yeah, you get a different environment, and that environment needs to be studied.
Yeah.
And also the transition to that environment needs to be studied.
Yeah.
So
Super
there's
dynamic.
always going to be science that needs to happen on
I
that.
think if a person that went there in the 80s comes back now, you or
It's
she will
different.
see such a big difference.
different.
She'll see or he'll see like all the
Yeah.
different mosses that's growing there
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Never used to grow
Yeah.
there. More blechnum slopes maybe in the area, more polypogon
Yeah.
growing over. It was like, what? There was no grass here before. There's
Exactly.
grass everywhere now.
Where you thought there was a lake.
No, there's no more lake.
Actually, there's a footpath going through the lake.
Holy shit.
So
It's
yeah,
a place
man.
that changed so quickly. But I think like the environment here in the Cape even changes a lot. But we're not that aware of it now.
You can't because
Then you're
there's,
more aware of it.
there's too many people and there's a lot
Yeah.
going on. And Marion is just chill.
It's actually so cool. Like fynbos is also super dynamic with the fire coming through, and then you'll see a plant growing here, but 4 years later it'll come back, it's gone. It burned off, and now
It's new.
It's
There's
next
new
generation germinated over there.
There's always going to be something to do, and I just want the whole program to like be world class, man. Where like we can invite any scientist from anywhere, and
Yes,
it's going to
from
be
all around the
great
world.
communication, great coordination, and just share the island with the world because it's a really special place. And
We had some
it's
Australians
really cool.
and we had one French guy.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
there.
yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah,
I think
bro.
they really enjoyed it.
I think that's the best thing about science is the collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
And collaborations don't happen between institutions. They happen between people.
Yeah.
So when you go to these conferences and you have these networking sessions, they're not for nothing.
Yeah.
They're for you to make these connections. Who
To
knows?
learn
You
from
could
each
be
other.
working with a guy from Vietnam on some stuff because you spoke to him in a conference and whatever. So yeah, science has done that a lot for me. Where I've met a lot of people that are quite knowledgeable on certain areas. Where like I could borrow that knowledge and they could do that with me as well. And that's how you kind of
I
build
just
community.
hope more people think that way, because I know sadly about a lot of people who don't want to give their knowledge. They keep it for themselves sometimes. And I understand that in a way. They want to protect
that
it because
competitive
the
nature
competitive
and want to be
nature.
ahead of the
Yeah,
curve. No,
ahead-
I get
right.
that, but I mean, you have to teach.
no, you have to.
You have to
You have
teach.
to.
It's
You have
part
to.
of the mandate, man.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
You definitely have to share your knowledge.
of course.
I'm always sharing my
I'm
knowledge.
big on that. Maybe sometimes it's to my detriment.
Yeah.
Because, some things you have to just keep to yourself, but just let the people know, man.
But like, even if you think you're an expert in a thing, there's always something you don't know.
Yeah. That's why I like,
I'm sharing my knowledge, but I'm not saying I'm right all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not always right.
one of my lecturers at Fort Hare would always be like, I don't understand you guys. You selfish. the institution you're in, the slogan says "Together in Excellence." Why are you not working together? Why are you not working together? Work together, guys.
Come on, guys, work together.
Yeah, man. Just move together, and you go far.
So you obviously go back to the island. Yeah.
To overwinter.
Not overwinter.
No.
Probably take over now.
Take over, yeah.
I think you're done overwintering. I just like
tickets, bro.
Yeah.
Nah,
It's too much.
not a chance, bro. So, yeah, man. I don't want to get into personal stuff.
No, you don't have to, man.
Yeah, so yeah, going for takeovers is what I look forward to. Unfortunately, I couldn't go this year, but because I have this project that I need to finish up, it's more important. But yeah, going to the island is always a nice reminder. Going there last year was therapy because the last time I was there, it was the whole evacuation.
Yeah,
thing.
that's awful. It's
And
not a good memory.
It wasn't nice. So going back and actually going back to Boulders and being there again it helped.
Yeah.
It helped to also get rid of all the negative energy that I had towards the island, which was misplaced. It was supposed to be to people, not to the island, because now that memory got attached to the island. And yeah, so
Yeah, you want to talk about the memory, what happened? Just in general, maybe.
Yeah,
You don't have to give names or anything. You can just like say in general what happened. Or
Yeah. I mean, for instance, it starts with just how the whole injury was handled, in the sense that not enough information was gathered from the right people. Because I mean, medics they are not trained to do radiography, so they can read X-rays to a certain extent, but you know, doctors are quite more qualified to do that, which I feel I should have had a doctor to check up on me. Maybe a better decision would have been made. But with that aside, just the handling of the evacuation and the weeks leading up to it, that was also...
And there was also the time of semester. That's how I understand. And then the ship had to leave that work and then come down.
No,
so I feel like there was a lot of tension and irritation there. That's how I understood it.
So there's a lot of rumors and there's a lot of stories pertaining to the ship, but I know the weeks leading up to that, I was talking to my insurance. My insurance was prepared to rent a ship or whatever that can come to Marion and fetch me and whatever.
Wow.
But now V got added into the whole situation.
Oh, yes.
So, and apparently Fort Hare and UP have the same insurance. So they had an agreement that they're going to use the ship. They spoke to the ship. So what the ship was supposed to do before they left, they were supposed to get at least one helicopter. So while they were doing their semester run, they were told that helicopters are going to be flown over from Port Elizabeth.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. And then there were talks about how we're going to do this, and then I heard boats. Okay. Cool. As long as I leave, I just need to go home. It doesn't matter how it happens.
You want to lose your hand.
And then the day off, so the ship was supposed to stop there by ships.
But why it's ships?
Ships has
Just
the
because of
better
the
beach.
cove.
Yeah, because of the
the
cove.
ship. Yeah, no, you can get
The
a
landing is
small
better.
boat.
You can get a small boat.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
It was a bit far for V because she couldn't walk that far because
of
she
that
had
condition.
Yeah, she didn't have energy.
Shame.
Like she could
That's
barely
really
walk
bad.
from base to Boulders. Man.
Yo.
That's how terrible it was.
That's bad.
So, and then like there was a call made that let's do it at Boulders. The weather looks fine and whatever. Not knowing that the weather changes quite quickly.
Quite quickly, yes.
And then, yeah, we all went to Boulders, and then the evacuation happened. 2 boats capsized because of the waves and how the waves were quite
Because the
rough.
weather was bad.
The weather turned bad. And if you see how Boulders is positioned, it has that, you have the crane point.
Yeah.
So the waves that come from that corner,
Yeah.
and then you have the ones from the open ocean. When they meet in that little corner, it creates big waves.
Big waves.
So that's what happened.
Sure.
So the boats would come close, and then as they started to move back, the bigger wave would come, and then that's
What did the people do when it capsized? Did they just swim for
they,
shore?
they swam for shore. Some of them, most of them, and then the boats got pulled back.
Yeah.
The
The
whole
boat was
point-
on a rope, right?
Yeah. So the whole point of this whole thing, the boats came closer because they were trying to give us a rope to try and pull the raft, because we were going to put on rafts and then
Just they pull you back.
we pull us back.
Yeah.
But now the boats came
waves.
too close, and then when the water bounced off the rafts, it came back, and then it became a whole disaster. But eventually, very courageous doctor, a very courageous doctor,
It was on the ship.
was on the ship. He got onto the boats, and what he did was he took the rope, and he was, guys, we're not getting closer. He swam,
Wow.
got into the water, and he swam ashore with the rope. And then
With the rope.
With the rope, yeah. That's when we could pull the raft. Then when the raft came, another bigger boat came. It's just that I forgot the name of the boat. It's not the rubber duck, but there's
Yeah,
the
but
other
it's-
one that
yeah,
has
yeah.
like a shield.
It's a shielding.
That capsized because they came too close.
Oh my goodness.
And
How did they get the ships back, the boats?
they
pulled it.
they pulled the other ones, yeah.
Oh.
Only to find out they have a gun thing that can shoot a rope.
Oh,
And, like, why didn't you do this in the first place? This was what we were supposed to do instead of putting our lives in danger.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a lot of things happened. People got into water. Then some of them got too cold. We had to chuck them in the sauna for a bit.
Gee.
And then the captain was like, he was speaking to the first mate, because the first mate was one of the people that got into the water, and then they had to go and warm up a bit. The captain was like, first mate, get the crew, and whoever's coming, they must come. I'm leaving.
Hectic.
After seeing all of this shit that just happened,
He's just like saying, we're
now I must get on that raft and go back. And then V pulled me to the side, and she was like, dude, I'm shitting myself here.
Yeah.
I'm scared. And the only way I'm going to do this is if we go together. I can't go alone, because I was already like, I'm not going. It's fine. I can lose the hand. But I just saw I have no faith in anyone else. You know?
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
And then after V said that, I was like, okay, fuck. I need to do this.
But like, it was the raft there for you guys? to
Yeah,
go
the raft
on?
was
It got there
secured. And
because of the doctor that swam?
yeah. And then there were rubber ducks that were just
Okay.
around waiting for us. So, hey, bruh, we got, you see that demonstration they do with the suit?
Yes, yes.
I was in that motherfucker. I was in that thing. I put on that suit. We got onto the raft. She got on first, and I got on, and we were pulled towards the rubber duck, and then we were transferred, and then we were.
Were you guys in the water when you were pulled?
We were pulled, bro. I saw Crane Point leaving. Like, I was leaving Crane Point like this. I was on my back.
Oh my goodness.
And then a wave came, and then we got out. Oh no, don't do this. But anyway, we got there safe. And then the rubber duck took us to the ship, and then they lifted the whole thing onto the ship.
But how did you like feel when you got on the ship? Like how
was like-
shocked were you? You were like adrenaline rush, totally.
No, by the time we got onto the rubber duck, I was already like, okay, I'm safe now.
Are you safe?
Yeah.
You felt safe?
I felt like, okay, I'm safe. When I was on the raft, that's when I was like, okay, this is touch and go. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it could capsize and then we're
Easily.
underneath and we don't know how to move. And I have one arm, I'm swimming in
With
one
one
place.
arm.
And with the way V was feeling, if she had gotten into the water, hey bro, we would be talking different things now. But thank God we made it, got onto the ship. They gave us blankets. We were like, this is dramatic. we didn't get into the water. And my backpack, man, my backpack got wet and I had my laptop in there. So when I got it after like 30 minutes. So I'm like, damaged, but luckily nothing was damaged.
Okay, great.
Which was great. And then, got onto the ship. We went to go see the doctor. I was fine. V had to stay longer because she was like super cold and she was scared.
Shame.
So they had to keep
She
her
had an
for a
awful
bit.
experience there.
Then they brought her food there, and then I ate. Then the next day, we spoke to one of the cadets. Then he was just asking us about what do we remember and all those things. So I guess this was for their insurance stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And then we were part of semester, and then we came home.
You came home. And the doctor obviously checked you on your
Well,
rest day.
I-
He just gave an assessment basically. Or what?
I got there, then the next day I flew home, then I went to the doctor. Home.
At home.
I went to go see the doctor in East London.
And did you like speak to your team members after you came home? What was their like
I was
opinion
still,
on it?
I
What
was still on the
their-
WhatsApp group. Everyone was like, I mean, we had
They
our
like
moments
totally-
before I left. So we already said our goodbyes. I had one bottle of gin. I just called all the gents, all the gents that I knew drank.
Yeah.
We sat in the bride room and we just had a moment. We drank the bottle and then we came. And then the next day, I left.
Yo.
Yeah.
But were they not like, what's the word that I'm looking for here? I don't have a good term now, but like shocked about what happened.
They were, but it was a long time coming before we left. So it was a build-up. So everyone was they kind of knew, okay, these guys are going to leave and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. At first, I made the announcement that I'm going to leave, and then later, V was like, I'm also going to
Yeah,
leave.
I understand. It's a dramatic experience because I met Elsa now in person. I met her on the phone. We spoke before I went to Marion.
Yeah.
And she didn't really want to talk about it because I understand exactly.
Yeah, she also got injured during that whole operation.
Yeah, I heard,
Because,
yeah.
Oh, bruh, I have a vivid memory of seeing her falling, bruh. And I heard it. I saw it and I heard it. I was like, she's hurt. And we were busy trying to sort stuff aside, and I was like, Mdeni, please take Elsa, please.
Oh,
And she was out for a couple of weeks. You know those rocks, bruh.
yeah.
Hard. It was a hard fall.
Hard
fall.
Oh, man.
So yeah,
Sure.
we had a lot of casualties during that whole thing, bruh.
Yo, it sounds
A lot of
intense,
casualties.
man.
It was just. I still have a photo of the guys before that whole thing started. Still have that photo. I'll never delete that photo because I know the shit that happened after. It wasn't all roses and peaches.
Yeah, like, you think you'll take photos in that moment where something bad. You never take photos, man. I never took photos like when you're
There
walking
was
in
no
the...
time to take photos.
No, there's no time.
There was no time to take
It's like
photos.
when the seal's chasing you or when you're walking in the snow and the blizzard. You don't take photos.
You
Everyone-
can't take photos, and like you want to show people this is how it is, but there's
you
no time
there's
because
no
I'm
time.
trying to survive.
I'm
and
trying
this is
to
a matter of
survive.
life and death. This is not content. This is not content.
Yeah, fuck this shit. I don't want content for this. But then you come back. Now that I'm back, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, I should have fucking tried.
I could have tried.
I could have tried.
Man, yeah.
Jeez.
Just busy trying to survive. Yeah.
Yo. No, man, that sounds intense. But I'm glad you conquered that you went back and at least you have
took
a
a lot of-
positive vibe now, at least, about it.
Yeah, it took a lot of mental work, man.
Yeah, no, I would understand. I can't understand fully, but I can try.
I had
what you
nights,
went through.
bruh, where I'm like sleepless nights, just thinking about that whole situation, and you're like, yes, can't believe. And then also having to live with this. It took a while for me to accept that this is what's happening, and this is what it is. I mean, like, I wouldn't say I'm the most active guy, but I was active. I enjoyed my push-ups. I enjoyed doing the odd pull-up here and there.
Yeah.
Now I can't do any of those.
Oh, really? You can't?
I can't do push-ups because remember I can't go all the way.
You can't go all the way.
Yeah, and also like pulling myself is quite strenuous onto the wrist because you do a lot of wrist work. So it's just those minor things. I couldn't drive for a while because every time I did,
The shift.
it would make
Can't get shift.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's the recovery is good. It's coming along nicely, but I would have days where this part of my hand would get really sore. Almost like it just becomes numb.
Yeah.
Because of the pain. So yeah, it's just those things that you have to accept and live with. The doctor did say that I'm gonna have early arthritis because of the whole situation.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Yay.
Yeah, but did you have to go into some sort of rehab, obviously? Just
Yeah,
try
it wasn't too hectic. I just had to like keep on doing certain exercises. I went for hand therapy for about 6 weeks. Not cheap.
No.
After I was like, I'm a bit more bad. Cheers, guys.
You just do this all the time.
Yeah, and then they gave me a stress ball.
A stress
and
ball, yeah.
stuff like that. And then they had these fancy bandages that they would,
And then they charge you 10,000 rand.
That's why I stopped.
That's why I stopped.
Let's do this.
Yo, man, that's a crazy tale.
Yeah.
Like, you probably had a lot of crazy tales, like in the years before. Like, I always like to ask this. So I asked it to Zaf and Jentel, like, what was a crazy tale, like with seals or penguins or a fall or weather? What was a moment you felt like, fuck this shit? I want to go home now, man. Because I had a couple of moments like that. You're like, oh, no, man, this is crazy.
I don't. I've shared this with just a few people.
If you don't want to share, it's
But
also
like
fine.
on the island, I had a very hectic fall.
A very hectic fall.
Very hectic
Like
fall.
a far fall or like just rolling down or...
It was not far, but yo. So one day I decided, since I'm at Repeto's, let me just go interior.
Yeah.
The weather looked nice, and yeah, unfortunately, the weather reading the previous night at comms wasn't the greatest.
Accurate.
I mean, when people give you weather for 9 p.m., you already know. What am I doing outside at 9 p.m., fam? But anyway, yeah, man, I went up the interior going towards Mixed Pickle instead of going Cape Davis side.
Yeah, it's
So went past Otto, went past, is it Otto or Theo's? I think Theo.
Yeah, Theo, it's right there.
Yeah.
Basically going there. Instead of like that.
Instead of like that. Went past Theo's. I remember going to Theo's because Kala, one of our project friends, did a project with Marion on needle ice. He had
At
a site.
Theo.
At Theo, yeah.
Yeah.
He had his site up there.
I'm just going to interrupt you quickly. I
Yeah.
saw there's a trail going up to Theo from Repeto's. Is that
Yeah.
that's a geo trail, right?
Well, man, it could be anyone because a lot of people like to do the interior.
That's
route.
true.
Even Nico sometimes, if he's going to Mixed Pickle, he'll take the interior.
So I
route.
walked
So,
that trail as well now.
Yeah.
So everyone's walking.
I mean, there's barely anyone there, so all the tracks that are there will always remain there
Yeah.
because no one is there to disturb or whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So I followed that track, and then somewhere there by Spitzkop, somewhere there, I got lost because the
was
mist
mist.
came in.
That's Black Rock.
But now, bro, I still don't know. But I know that I was on top of something,
Yeah.
and then I wasn't on top of something.
So it broke.
It broke, and then I fell for quite a bit, and then, but luckily I landed on my backpack.
Wow.
I landed on my backpack, and I broke a piece of the computer a little bit.
Oh shit.
But I had a major fall, bro. And I think my back is still suffering from that fall.
Oh really?
Yeah. I've never had to go check it out. But once in a while, I could feel this part of my back being sore. And I think it's a result of that fall. And every time when someone says they want to go inland, I'm like, yeah, cool, you can go. So yeah, that
Yeah, you have
that
to be
part,
very careful when you walk.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint exactly where, but I know that it was close to Spitzkop, and then I got lost somewhere. But I fell very hard.
Sure.
But yeah,
No, I had a similar experience as well. I'm not sure where it was, but you can like feel the ground under you is going to break. I'm like, shit. And you just like jump
you had
quickly.
to, like,
you
scramble,
you just
yeah.
scramble and move. And then you see like, there goes a rock. It's like, yo, man, that happens a lot of places, I think. It's just,
and then
the ground's not solid everywhere. You have to be very careful when you walk, especially when you walk over that black rock section. Because you know there's air that came in when it was created.
Yeah,
so now
so it's hollow.
It looks solid, and then all of a sudden it's just yo.
toffee lava. It's the toffee lava.
I don't like that, man. It's just
And then I think another cool moment is I swam at soft.
oh nice
It
in the
was
water.
such a nice day.
Oh great. When the river was going down.
No, it was a chill day.
Oh, it's just a chill
It wasn't
day.
running. It was just
Wow, it's
really
just like-
hard to like.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, so like, yeah.
Yeah, I had to walk through there because I couldn't get through.
Yeah.
So I also took off all my clothing. It got in to here, basically, my chest.
Really?
Yeah, I had to walk through there. I couldn't cross, man. It was like raining the previous night, like heavy, man. And the morning was beautiful, but then I got there, like, oh, fuck, I can't get through. Yeah.
So can I tell you, like, I've heard a lot of stories about people getting soaked at Soft Plume. I worked at Soft Plume.
And you
I
never.
don't have those experiences.
That's
There's
amazing.
never one time where like I got there and it was flooded and I couldn't cross.
Yeah. But that's,
Maybe
it's all by
just a
chance.
lucky. It's a
It's
lucky
all by
one.
chance, man.
Yeah.
It's like I never saw. I think my whole team, all the field workers, saw the Van der Bogart on the Bogaard River come down.
Yeah.
Like heavy, man, that you can't cross it.
You've never seen that.
I've never seen that. Like I've never had to go.
I've
you
seen
see,
that. I've seen that.
now you see, like
Yeah, there are things
there are things you miss.
that you miss, of course.
I just hear the story. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
can remember-
Van der Bogart gets hectic. Hey?
Yeah, it can get
It
hectic.
gets hectic.
But I've never had to cross there.
Yeah, there's nothing for you there.
Yeah.
Well, I did a lot of crossing there
Yeah.
when I came back from Round Islands. And I happened to date a birder, so I would do the Gen 2 thingy at Ship's Cove every day.
ships, that's
Sometimes
nice.
I would go and try to.
Yeah, apparently Zaf said like Gentus used to be a lot more on the island.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see
yeah,
this
yeah. Oh,
ate
Gentus
all their
are-
eggs.
In trouble, man. Yeah, they're quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
They're quite vulnerable.
It's
That's
cool,
why
it's
you
just-
just leave them alone. They're very bougie also. They're the cleanest penguins I know.
Yeah, they are clean.
They're very clean.
They're cute actually. I miss
And they
those.
have their little communities up
Yeah.
there. like
It's
those
actually
spots.
so interesting.
Yeah, no, Gentos they're really cool.
You can think if there were a lot more, like 20,000 of them,
Yeah, I mean, you need a lot of Gentos.
and they would
it would be
transform the landscape so much
Yeah.
actually.
No, it would degrade the landscape.
Yeah.
Because remember,
Yeah.
they build their nest quite inland.
Inland, yeah.
Yeah. So you see their footpaths and they do a lot of land degradation there. And what they do leads to a lot of erosion. And then you'll end up losing the beaches
why I
and then
think
the
they-
beaches go inland and more inland.
It's quite interesting that one spot that when you walk to tripod, it's very grassy, very invasive, but there's no gentoos breeding there.
Yeah.
So I was like wondering, maybe the gentoos were very long ago, were obviously a lot more. Maybe that whole spot was.
Dude, there were gentoos there.
Yeah, exactly. So
There were a
that
lot of gentoos there.
that whole spot was gentoos.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's humans that brought that invasives to gentoos. They go through the human pathways and they carry the seed and they make even nests of the invasive grass there. I've seen it.
gentoos, man, they're quite inland.
Yeah, they nest. Yeah.
They nest quite inland.
Yeah.
And trying to catch those little buggers, man. Yeah, see, they're fast.
Did you need to catch them?
Yeah, they used
They
to
weigh
catch
them.
them, so they would have this net thing where they would have all the chicks in one place, and then they would try to catch the adults to put trackers on them, so that they wanted to know where they forage and how far and for how long do they go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we had to catch like a few. It was not a lot, just a few.
But still, it was difficult.
They're quick.
They're fast, yeah.
They're very fast. They're very fast. Fell quite a lot.
Yeah, I think all of us fell a lot.
Yeah, this is
And
the
you're
best thing
worried
about the island.
sometimes. You're like, oh, fuck, I hurt my knee.
Yeah. Yeah, man, you just stumble, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Then you continue. Unless it's like a bad fall. Then you take a minute and you consider your life. But yeah, that's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
But man, what I was trying to say about Marion is I really want to see the science going forward. Like I said, I want the program to be world class, where like all the data that is being collected can be analyzed and can be added to some.
And you're part of that now.
Yeah.
You're part of that community who's going to achieve that.
Yeah, bro. We're really hopeful about the future.
When did SAPRI start? It's very new, right?
It's very new, yeah. So its first years of operation was actually 2021. That's
Wow,
when it started. So we're baby.
We're baby, but you're getting there.
We're getting there. Yeah, we're learning the ropes. Also, like building a relationship with stakeholders, the people that are actually involved, and the most amazing thing is the support from the community, man. The scientific community. They took time to understand what we do. Yeah, there were teething issues here and there, but everyone was keen to understand who fits where and how does this whole coordination gonna go. So yeah, we're trying to fix it from our side, where like the science is just well coordinated and the communication is open, and we just want to spread it throughout the program. I think that's the most important thing for me, is to just get the program well coordinated and get the communication lines open, because it could be so much better.
Yeah.
It's already incredible, but it can get so much better.
It can always get better.
It can always get better. And yeah, that's with the little time that we have, we'll try to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because, man, you never know.
No, I think it's great. What did I want to ask now? I always sometimes just forget my thoughts.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, ask me something.
So, would you go back to the island?
Yeah, I will go back.
Okay.
But I don't know for takeover. For overwintering. I think for takeover maybe rather.
Okay.
A year is a difficult thing, man.
A year is a difficult thing, bro.
It will be
But don't
fun.
you have unfinished business?
There's always unfinished business.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the moss. The moss is the unfinished,
It's the unfinished business.
Yeah, for me. I'm not that big fan of copy challenges and seed all that. Who
You're
gives
there
a
for
shit?
the science.
I'm there for the
and
science, man.
Whatever discovery.
Yeah,
I'm with you. And
I wanna
man, you
discover
shouldn't
stuff.
pressure yourself into doing those things. Because those are like cowboy things.
Yeah, it's cowboy things. It's kind of a waste of time for me. I've seen all the. If you've seen one Scoria copy, you've seen them all.
Come on, no, man, they're not the same. I get what you mean, but
Yeah, I know, they're not the same.
yeah. But no, I totally get what you mean. There are certain things that I was like, I'm not gonna do this. For instance, there was this big thing of jumping off Crane Point. It's like, I'm never gonna do that.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Yeah, that's not me. I can't do stuff like that. I don't like heights, man, and water. Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, man, I don't know. The black person in me was like, what if killer whales come, or the sharks or whatever? I was like, hey, nah. And the water's very cold.
Yeah, no, fuck
3
that
degrees,
shit.
that's crazy.
No, screw that.
So, like,
I think what I like to see is like there's so many people in South Africa that you don't even know we have islands. They don't even know about Marion. Like, I'm so like surprised, and we have all these organizations now, and we have all the social media. How do you still not know about it? I don't get it. I just want to let the general public know about it because
there's
when you think South Africa, no one thinks about this. No one would ever consider it, but it's part of our heritage.
It's
actually.
part of our heritage. It's part of our history, and it's part of our now.
Yeah.
Because there's this boom in the blue economy and how people are utilizing the ocean and stuff like that. And it's important that we bring awareness about Marion Island and these kind of places, especially within the youth. I think the youth deserves to like be informed about this, and I don't know how it can be done, man. There needs to be a platform where we talk about it constantly, and sometimes I think we hold on to it as the community too much. That we don't want to share.
We don't share it. Yeah.
Where
it's because we feel like we can't. No one would understand.
there's no platform.
There's no platform.
There's no platform.
No, hopefully this will be a platform.
Yeah.
We can speak about it.
I hope so, man. I really hope so. And I mean,
because I'm going to get more people from Marion definitely on the show. And
obviously, I'm also going to share it far and wide. And
please do, man. I appreciate it.
So, I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot needs to, because the only time Marion is mentioned is bad stuff.
That's not good.
Or anytime the Sana program is being mentioned is
Yeah,
because of
I hate
controversy and just
why do you
bad
make
stuff.
Why
don't you make the
People
news for like
always-
great stuff?
people? That's the problem with news, man. It's always the bad stuff. Always gets the highest news and the highest recognition.
No, bro, but look at it like this. We did an amazing thing. We used our national resource to go look for a ship that has been lost for 100 years. And we found it. And that did not make national news.
Hectic.
That baffles me, bro. Every time I think of, like, there's a documentary that
When
was
did this
made
happen, though?
2022, bro.
Please tell the name. Let's get it out there. Let
me get the facts straight.
get the name, man.
Shackles.
I actually have a screen. We should get a screen here and we can show on the screen. Actually, a good idea.
Yeah. There's also like a documentary about
That
how
bothers
it was
me as well,
found
man.
and everything.
But I've always been like a kind of a rebel in my youth, and still probably in a sense. But I hate news outlets for that reason. It's always negative, and then it's like a small positive. But then the positive is like a stupid thing, like, oh, this guy saved the dog out of a well. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what you're supposed to do, you know. Let's get some other positive news, you know. Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that they focused, like the thing that happened at Sana, the Antarctica, with all the conflict there. Like, you know what happened? Like, all of my friends and my family asked, "Are you guys okay? Is it going all right at your team? And are you also going through this?"
2022.
Well, fine, man.
Yeah, this happened 2022. I'm just going to read this overview. The SA Balance 2, a South African polar research and supply vessel, played a crucial role in locating the wreck of Sir Ernest Shackleton's ship, the Endurance, in the Weddell Sea. The vessel, chartered by the Falklands Maritime Heritage Trust for the Endurance 2022 expedition, used state-of-the-art technology to find the survey and the historic shipwreck. How does that not make national news?
Yeah,
This
true.
the Gallas is a big national asset, and it did this amazing thing, and it wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes back to the kind of country we are. Our country is not a country that is focused in science because we have bigger problems than that.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
we have problems of employment, we have problems of corruption. So I guess stories like this become small in the grand scheme of things. I do understand that, but I mean, we can push. We can push. So
we need to push. We need to get some positive feedback out there, man.
Yeah.
Cool things happening. This is also the reason why I'm doing this. I want to get the positive, cool stories out there.
The stories out there.
And I get it, some negative stuff also
Yeah.
happens in life, and it sometimes gets more attention because it's, oh fuck, you know, it's like this
Yeah,
big
it's
thing.
sensationalized.
Sensationalized, that's the problem.
That's what I tell a lot of like the people back home. I'm like, yo guys, the things that I care about, you guys don't even think about. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's
So
true.
yeah, man. Yeah. That's kind of my story.
That's your story. And what's the future for you? If you finish your PhD, you'll obviously stay with SAPRI, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping to stay with SAPRI, man, for a while, just so that I'm kind of part of the spearheading the whole long-term monitoring of the top predators on the island. I mean, I can't end this podcast without giving a shout out to like
No, give a shout out.
Nico, Professor Nico de Brain and Professor Martin Bester for giving up such a legacy. Not giving it up, but like passing it on for us to like
and helping you on the way.
And like giving us the advice that
That's
we need to like move forward, and whenever we need any advice or any encouragement or if anything we need from them that pertains to the work, we can always go to them, and like I'd be remiss if I didn't say anything about them.
Yeah.
It's really
No,
it's a
very
really
cool.
big project.
They're awesome.
Yeah, and I also have to say something about my supervisor. Professor David Heading and Professor Vernon L. Oh man, those
Legends.
legends, bro. Like I can't speak anything bad about them. They've changed my life, and yeah, I'm where I am partly because of them. And yeah, I really appreciate them.
That's cool, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to like make them proud, and obviously my family, and my mom and my sister, big part of it, and then yeah, obviously my daughter.
Oh, man.
So yeah.
Yeah, man, I think that's good. Thank you for coming.
No problem, man. This is fantastic.
I loved it.
Yeah. And
You should come again.
We should come again. Maybe have a group of us.
Yeah, we can do that. I was thinking
Just
of doing a group, but I'll need more mics.
Yeah, you need more mics, and obviously, man, there's no pressure. Just do what you're doing now. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Like I'm really grateful to be part of it.
Yeah,
And
man.
I've been thinking of like starting a podcast, but I'm thinking about like, I'm probably gonna say like some stupid shit. But
No,
anyway,
you don't say stupid
I'm passionate about podcasting because I started listening to this podcast in 2016, which I still listen to it now.
shit.
And
What's the name?
it's the Joe Budden podcast. It's mostly about hip hop culture, music,
Oh,
and whatever. So how I stumbled across them, they were critiquing one of my rappers, and I was like, actually, I like the way they're breaking this down because they're not just doing surface level; they go deep into the lyrics and stuff like that. So, and I've seen how it's changed their lives.
Yeah.
And how it influences the community that they have and how it's grown.
Listening to podcasts has changed my life and my thinking as well.
Yeah.
Broadened my knowledge, like on
Yeah.
certain perspectives people have.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I used to have a very tunnel vision, I would
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it, perspective. You know, I was quite a rebel, so
Yeah.
I looked at that. But now I'm like more open to
Yeah.
why people think like that.
Yeah. No, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And platforms like these are needed because it gives people the voice. Because like radio interviews and TV interviews are mostly scripted.
It's scripted.
You know, before you get there, you already know. Okay, these are the questions that I can ask.
This is what I need to ask.
These are the questions that I can't ask.
Yeah.
So it becomes now disingenuous.
I don't know.
But you guys know what
I
I'm
don't know
trying to
literature.
But it doesn't become as legit if it's unscripted and you're just talking off the cuff. Then it's better.
I think
Nice and raw, and it's real, man.
Yeah,
People
it's real.
can relate to it.
Exactly, that's what I like about it. It's super real.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine I scripted this whole thing.
It would have been done.
Would have been done,
Yeah, because
would have been 10
they ask me a
minutes.
question and I answer. Question, answer. Because remember they work on airways.
You don't really know if that's the true answer.
Exactly.
That's what I don't like about it.
Yeah, because already you thought about it on your way. It has to be on the spot. Yeah, obviously I knew the kind of questions you were going to ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't know how the question is going to come.
Yeah, most of the times, I don't know, I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, and I mean, we were quite familiar with each other.
Yeah,
so
we're
it's-
familiar with each other. It's easy.
the conversation flows because it's not a stranger. Man, this is cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very cool.
Thanks so much, man. Abu,
Yeah.
fan.
Awesome.
You've been an inspiration to me as well.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you came to the show.
Yeah.
I'm just telling your tale, and yeah, all the best for the future and your PhD. Hope it's going to be great.
Thank you so
It's
much.
gonna be great.
I need all
I know
the,
it's going to be great.
I need all the
Don't
thoughts
stress
and
too much.
prayers.
Okay, goodbye everyone.
Cheers, guys.